Hey guys, this is Bruce, and I'm just gonna knock out another live. I got another question from somebody. I'm really surprised how many questions I get on this channel about IT certifications, jobs, and security, IT security market. So I'm just gonna keep on cranking these out. So Kimberly asked me which certification should she start with as a beginner, and so first of all, if you're truly a beginner, if you're a noob, you don't know anything, probably just get some experience under your belt. Like these certifications are supposed to gauge what you already know, and a lot of times the certifications require that you have a certain amount of experience in the IT field, um, in the in actually in a company with a role. Uh, with that out of the way, I would say the certifications are a very good way to know which body of knowledge you should know. What I mean by that is, I'll give you an example. Like if you do the Security Plus is like the ground floor for security, right? That's like I don't know of a better certification to start with as far as IT security. Uh, but anyway, back to what I was saying. So the important thing that you could use the certifications for if you're a beginner is it will give you an idea of where to actually study and what you need to know. And for example, like it'll one of the domains that they usually hit on is like cryptography. So it'll tell you like which you'll have to know like what kind of like the history of cryptography. Oh, Kimberly, you're on. That's crazy. It seems, and you're saying, okay, let me see if I can read your comment here. It seems like in order to get experience, they want you to have a certification or, oh, like a chicken and the egg kind of thing. Well, that's true. Like for Security Plus, you're supposed to have a certain amount of experience to take it. And then if you get the job, they're going to want the certification. Um, so how do you get around that? Well, let me ask you a question. What is your current level of experience? Do you have any experience at all? Like even in college? Did you go to school? Did you hook up a network in school? Did you volunteer? Like what's your actual level of experience? Because I could tell you how I started in the military, and in the military they kind of throw you into the frying pan. Like you have to just get in there and just start doing stuff. But things that you could do to get experience would be like volunteering places. If you're not in the military, of course, if you're not in college, what you could do is volunteer at the local high school. You could volunteer at the church if you go to church. You can volunteer at local organizations to help them fix computers. That's one way that you could get experience. And you're saying MBA in information systems, but I took a Security Plus course, but not hands on. Okay, well that's great. I mean, an MBA course. Let me see, in information systems, but okay, it seems like okay. Yeah, so that's really good. So how much? Okay, no hands on. Let me see. What could you do to get experience? Like I said, if I was in your situation, what I would do is I would get that experience. Like any level of experience while you're training. You could even like check this out. What I would do in your situation is I would start studying for the Security Plus. I would recommend the Security Plus, by the way. Get books, take like the little tests that you see online, start watching videos on people who already have it, things like that, right? So let's say it takes you 6 months to study for the test, right? Especially if you're really fresh with security, you never even heard of it. Um, oh, you know how to clean up viruses. That's a great start. So what I would do is, if I were you, is as I'm studying, taking the test, buying books, watching videos for like I give myself maybe 6 months. You don't really need 6 months, but 6 months is really just to start getting your foot in the door with experience, right? And so what you could do is volunteer to at different organizations. Like if you go to church, that's one place you could do. Oh shoot, what else? who else would take? Schools would sometimes let you, if you have a job, if you work at, let's say, some company, and maybe at the company you mostly do, I don't know, maybe you pass out mail or something. You can actually volunteer to help the IT guys, because some IT guys are actually really willing to help you learn. You'd be surprised. I mean, most of them are kind of assholes. I'm just being completely honest with you. Some of them are empire builders and assholes. But you can meet some who are really hungry to teach people. And I was lucky enough to find a couple guys like that who were excited about they were as excited to teach me as I was to learn. And if you meet somebody like that, like a mentor, they'll they'll teach you all day long. They won't shut up about it. And so, especially if you're at a job, right? So if you're in the mailroom and you hook up with these IT folks and they're willing to teach you like a little bit, that counts as experience, right? I'm trying to think of some other ways you can get some experience without. I mean, trust me, any kind of organization you're in, even if it's not like a job, they have IT, so you can use that as IT experience. And let me just check something real quick for the Security Plus, because I believe there's another way you can do it with a master's. If you have an MBA, you might not even need experience. Now that I think about it, I'm just gonna go to CompTIA's site right here, right now. CompTIA Security Plus. Security Plus is one of my favorite certifications because it's like in that middle ground between where it's respected in the industry enough to get you a decent job in security, but it's not super duper hard. Like CISSP is pretty damn hard. Like if somebody tells you it's easy, they're bullshitting you. Let me see. So right now I'm on the CompTIA site for Security Plus, and I'm looking for requirements. I'm looking for the requirements on it. Okay, you said I know how to clean up viruses off of computers, and that's it. Yeah, so there's a lot of other areas that you'll need to know, and that's why I recommend the Security Plus is because it's just a great starting point. Like the body of knowledge gives you this real good foundation, and it'll, even if you don't have a lot of experience, it will guide you in the right direction of what to learn. Like it covers, I don't know if they've changed it. I'm just looking at the overview right now. Here's what I'm looking at. Just typing it in here. I'm looking at the domains here. Let me see. Globally recognized, industry supported, all that's true. Government approved. The U.S. government is 100% down with Security Plus. It's just a damn good certification. I can't find the domains for it right now, but let me also look at the requirements. Jobs that use Security Plus: security specialist, security consultant, security and system administration, network administrators. Yeah, it's just a solid. It's just such a solid certification. So I'm always recommending it as something to start with, even with no experience. But that's not what I was looking for. I'm looking for the actual requirements. Requirements of Security Plus certification. Because I want to say that one of the requirements was like 2 years in the industry, but I could be wrong about that. And I think with a degree, it might offset that, if I'm not mistaken. There's a 401. Here's what I'm looking at right here. It's a 401 and Yeah, I'm still looking for it. Let me see what you said here. I hear the CISSP is the gold. The gold, yeah, the gold of the IT world. Well, it's the gold standard for security jobs, for IT security jobs, and I have to say that it's been the reason why I've been able to stay gainfully employed. If I'm being truthful, like the industry, and not that I can't say that it deserves that much respect. It's not like, in my personal opinion, it's not like a CCNP, which is extremely hard and really gauges how much you actually know if you could pass that test, because it's a practical test. But Robert Boston says, same with the bachelor's or no, as far as experience goes. Yeah, I'm checking on that, Robert. I'm just trying to see if memory serves. I believe if you have a degree, you may not need the experience, but I want to say it was with a 2-year degree. If you had at least a 2-year degree. Security Plus requirements. Let me see. Security Plus CE requirements. After you pass Security Plus, you'll find, okay, nope, that's not what I'm looking for. It has the fees, the annual fees. It's been a while. It's been a while, guys. Like, I have to maintain my CISSP, but Security Plus, I just let it expire. I don't really need it anymore. And the only reason I've taken it in the past is to teach. Like, the first time I took it, I've had to take it twice. The first time I took it, it really helped me to establish what I needed to know. And then the second time I took it, I only took it so that I could teach a class in the new certification, because it had changed so drastically from 401. All right, I'm still looking for the requirements, and I can't believe I'm having such a hard time finding this. Security Plus requirements. Yeah, the CISSP is definitely the gold standard. It's very respected, and like I said, in my personal opinion, it doesn't really deserve that kind of respect. And I'm not talking crap about it. I mean, I think it's a good certification. It's just because you have it doesn't mean you know how to do routers, for example. Like with the CCNA, at least CCNA is kind of a lower level networking certification. In my opinion, it's a pretty badass certification. Okay, I'm back. All right, so here's what I found. Prerequisites and requirements, of course, none. The CompTIA recommend at least 2 years in IT administration with a security focus. So you're already good. You already got, both of you guys are already good to go on that. With a security focus and a network plus credentials before taking the Security Plus exam. So I actually took the Security Plus exam before I did that, but that's not required. They just recommend that you have 2 years plus the Network Plus, but you don't really need to do that. I don't recommend the Network Plus unless, well, I guess if you don't really know anything, then it would be okay. Let me see what else you guys are saying. My degree's concentration was more of knowledge management systems and artificial intelligence. That's pretty awesome. I've got some questions for you on that one. And then Robert says, I'm shooting for a CISSP as well. However, I agree with you. A person with not much experience needs to start with the Security Plus. Yeah, so that's what I did. I started off with the Security Plus. It was one of my first certifications. And I mean, before that, I was lucky. I was in the military, and they had this program where they put us through this boot camp, and they had us in the boot camp. We had Microsoft certification, Microsoft's an MCP. It was like for servers or something. It was a long time ago. We had the Network Plus boot camp. We had what else? A Plus, and then we had Security Plus, and then we had, what else was there? CCNA. We had 5 certifications. It was brutal. This guy came in there and we took like maybe a month to go through all of that stuff. Imagine all that. A month to go through all of that stuff, right? And after the boot camp, I think maybe only 2 of us got all the certifications. And I was one of them. I studied my ass off. The boot camp kind of guided me in the right direction, but I was staying up all night. Not all night. Obviously, I had to get some sleep at work the next day and stuff. But I stayed up really late into the night. I would buy books and I just studied and studied and studied and took every test back to back. It was brutal, brutal. But the most rewarding out of all of those certifications was the CCNA and the Security Plus. Both of those, like when I put that on my resume, this was keep in mind this was like 2003, 2000, it might have been 2002. It was a long time ago, and it really helped. Those 2 certifications were extremely valuable, and Security Plus. It does not really prepare you for the CISSP. I gotta say, it's not even in the same ballpark. It's not even close. It's not even close. What it is a good foundation for which direction to learn. But CISSP is like what do you call it? Comprehensive questions, where the answers, like there's 4 answers, right? But only one of them's right, of course. But all the answers kind of sound the same, and you've got to determine which one is more right than the others. They always like one throwaway question, but like the other 3, it was like 3 were right. Do you recommend the CEH? I recommend the CEH if you're going to do pen testing. If you're going to go into, when you get into security, there's all of these different branches. If you're starting off, I don't recommend CEH. I recommend Security Plus because it gives you a good foundation. CEH, if you're going into the branch where you're doing pen testing, because there's a whole branch it's called like an assessor, where you're like basically doing like white hat hacking on networks. It's a valuable. It pays really well, by the way. Like you can make probably, the range is between like, I want to say 70 to 100,000. Like they make really good money. So I got Kyle saying I have a CASP. Oh, that's a good one. Certification. It's the equivalent, a CISSP equivalent, yeah. And the DoD sees it as equivalent to CISSP. And CEH cert, but I am having trouble finding work. This is mainly because I do not have any hands-on experience. So Kyle, have you tried putting this? Are you on LinkedIn? Because I don't have any problems getting a job. Have you had any interviews? Interviews is where they get you on the actual. Do you have any advice on landing a first gig? Well, first of all, let me. I don't want to steal Kimberly's thunder. So Kim, you can go for the Security Plus. So there's no prerequisite. Just dive right in there. Experiences, like we're about to get into that topic, but experiences, you can't replace experience. Like there's no replacement for that. And what'll happen is what's happened with me is that I'll land the interviews because I got a pretty good resume. But what happens is they start asking me questions, like deep in the weeds questions, and if I don't have the experience, they can tell right off the bat, because a lot of times the technical people will interview you first to kind of weed out the people who don't. They called them a paper tiger. They called me that, but that means like you're really good on paper, but you don't have experience. Experience is like something certifications can't replace that, you know. But that being said, it's not to say that you can't know your stuff and not walk in the interview and blow it away even though you don't have experience. DoD made a Security Plus a requirement not too long ago. Yeah, they did. And that's what made it super valuable now. Let me see. Do I have any advice on landing your first gig? Yes, I have plenty of interviews. See, so that's the issue that I've had, because I was trying to transition from doing risk management, which I hate, but pays really well. I hate it, but it pays good, and it's kind of like baseball. So it's boring, you know. Like I'm good at it, but it's like baseball is like 18 minutes of excitement, you know. But it's like 9 innings, but it's like, you know, it's 18 minutes. Whereas, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But like CEH and assessments and pen testing is like MMA fighting, right? Because it's like 15 minutes, but it's like you're in there. I'm getting older now, so I'm learning to like what I do, which is it's a slower paced thing. So I'm not a young guy anymore, so I'm enjoying the actual policy stuff. I don't. It's not fun, but it pays the bills, right? Anyway, so I've been trying. I was for a while. I was trying to transition from being a policy guy to doing like, what do you call it? Looking at logs, and I didn't have a lot of experience with it. So I talked to the technical guys on the interviews, and they would just hammer me. They would just hammer me. And so what I had to do was take a lower level jobs in that, you know, jobs that didn't pay as well. And so if you're willing to move, Kyle, that's what I would recommend is well, if you're willing to make a sacrifice, if you really want to break in, you can find a job. And here's how you do it. First off, you don't go on just LinkedIn. You make a very complete profile on LinkedIn, right? Then you go to monster.com. You do the same thing. You go to Indeed.com. If they still allow you to upload your resume, put it there. You go to USA Jobs. You go to Dice.com. You go in all the top resume sites. You put your profile, full-blown profile, on each one of those sites, right? Then you're gonna start getting hit by recruiters. You tell them you want to go anywhere. Now here's the catch. Here's the catch. And I don't know if you're gonna do this, but this will work. You tell them you're willing to go anywhere and travel, right? Now, if you're not willing to do those two things, then I can't promise you anything. But if you say, I'm willing to travel and I'll go to any state or country, you will find a job. Period. You won't like it. But if you do that for about 6 months, a year, you'll have the experience, and then you basically build off of that. That's what I did. I actually went to Kuwait I was in Kuwait for 2 years, right? The plan was to stay there for 1 year. I ended up staying for 2 years because the pay was pretty good, and the job was easy. And I actually liked the work. It was technical. And I was doing this system called ArcSight, and I learned. They taught me from scratch. I didn't know anything. They taught me from scratch, and I walked away from that place, and I was getting hit by everybody. To this day, I still get people asking me if I want to do ArcSight somewhere, anywhere, even from home. So that's my tip, Kyle. If you're willing to make a sacrifice, if you're willing to take any job anywhere, more than likely you'll get a job. If you're doing security, the top places are Virginia, DC area, which sucks. San Diego, which is a beautiful area. They have a lot of security jobs there. Colorado, where I'm from, a lot of jobs here because there's so many bases here. What's the other place? There's a couple of other ones. There's some in Texas, and I'm forgetting one or two. Those are the main places where the jobs are super hot. So if you're willing to move, once you put your resume out there, right? Once you put your resume on those top ones that I told you, and more, just keep putting them out there. You'll start getting hit by recruiters. And if you're willing to move, you will get a job, period. And it won't be a bad job. Well, it'll suck. The job will suck. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. The job will suck, but you do that for 6 months, and then you'll just level up from there. Hey, no problem, man. Yeah, you live in Fairfax, and yes, it does suck. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. What about Dallas, Texas? Yeah, here in Colorado. but need clearance. Yeah, yeah, they definitely need a clearance for a lot of those jobs I'm talking about. Um, Texas. What about Dallas, Texas? I get some. I've got some job offers from Plano, Texas. Some from Dallas, but mainly it's like I don't know what's going on over there, but it's a lot from Plano, Texas. Some that area. There's like this technical area that keeps contacting me, and I want to say Plano, Texas is the one that keeps I keep seeing over and over again. And I don't know what part that is, but it must be like a highly technical area. So hey guys, it's really been great to you heard of Plano, huh? It's been great to talk to you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end this conversation. It's been great. I'm gonna definitely do more of these. I didn't know there's so many security guys or people interested in this stuff, but that's great that there is. I will talk to you guys another time. I'm gonna try to do these regularly, like at least once a week. I'm trying to do daily, but man, it's hard to keep up with them because I have a whole nother channel. But make sure you like and subscribe if you want to know when I'm going to do another live like this where we can do open topics. Then, yeah, no problem, Kimberly. If you want to catch up with me when I do these open topics like this or any other topic, then just go ahead and hit that little bell. That's the notification, post notification, so that whenever I do these, it'll just pop up on you, and then we'll be talking. All right, see you guys later.
Is it nice?
Oh, somebody asked me about 837. I could talk all about that.